Hey guys,
Hi everybody.
welcome to another Sunday Travel Therapy Mentor live video. This week, we mentioned last week we're going to be back in the U.S., so we're actually came back to the U.S. for a few days, and we started a road trip this morning. So we are coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. We drove 7.5 hours to get here today, so quite a bit of driving, did some exploring. It's been pretty awesome. Tonight we're going to be talking about Travel Therapy Mentor, how we got started. Today is the 1-year anniversary since we started the site. We started September 1st last year. So we'll talk a little bit about what's happened this past year and what the next year is going to look like, what we have planned in terms of traveling for work, but also traveling internationally for speaking engagements, things like that. So Whitney's going to introduce us and then we'll get started.
Hey everybody. So like Jared said, we are back on the road again at an Airbnb right now. So we're trying to be a little bit quiet since we are in the Airbnb in a room in the house. So let us know if you can hear us, if we're whispering too much, if so we can talk a little bit louder.
But look at the decor. What is it, decor? Decor? It's really nice. It's a nice place.
It's a really nice room. I think she called this like the Zen room. So there's some cool decorations and everything. It's a really nice place. So yeah, like Jared said, it's been a year, which is crazy, since we started the Travel Therapy Mentor site. And for you guys that may have been following our story for a while, you might be more familiar, but some of you guys might be newer to our page and to us. So we'll do some introductions. My name is Whitney Aiken.
And I'm Jared Kazaza.
And we're both traveling doctors of physical therapy. And we've been traveling PTs for over 4 years now. And since 2015 is when we started traveling, and since 2016 we've had a personal blog that's called Fifth Wheel PT. And Jared writes a lot about finance, and we write a little bit about our adventures and travel therapy and that sort of thing on Fifth Wheel. But a year ago, we were on a trip out of the country, and we were in Thailand, and we got the idea to start a new website that's called Travel Therapy Mentor. So we already kind of shared some content about travel physical therapy and travel therapy in general on Fifth Wheel PT, but we wanted to branch off and make a site that was strictly dedicated to exactly what the title says, mentoring new and aspiring travel therapists. So we got the idea to kind of rebrand and just make a whole separate site. And so it's hard to believe that it's been a whole year since we started the new site. I can remember just like it was, a few weeks or a month ago, we were in Chiang Mai, Thailand, when we launched the site and we first started working on it. And so much has happened and changed since then. So tonight we kind of want to just recap what this past year has entailed for us, what it has entailed for our business, and what it has entailed for you guys, for our audience. Gosh, we've made so many new connections and been able to talk to and mentor so many people, and it's been a wonderful experience from a business perspective and personally for us. We've really enjoyed it. So there's just a lot to go over. And then like Jared mentioned, we're actually on a road trip right now, and we just came back from Europe, so we just have a lot we wanted to recap and then talk a little bit about the future as well. So that's a little bit of background. So I guess let's get started back from the beginning when we started it, when we were in Thailand, and what that trip was like.
Yep. Hey Ryan, hey Brian, hey Alex. Thank you guys for joining. So yeah, we started last year. I got the idea sometime in August. We had the other website, but I wanted to make something more specifically geared towards mentoring new travelers, helping new people get started. So I came up with this idea, and mainly we were just going to write articles and help people answer questions, that kind of stuff.
Which we'd already been doing a lot of anyway. It's just kind of under a different name, and we felt like our blog name was a little bit ambiguous. A lot of people found us maybe through Google searches and through Jared and I, in Facebook groups and things, but they maybe didn't really know, like, what is Fifth Wheel Physical Therapist? What does that mean? And so we'd already been mentoring a lot of people and answering a lot of questions and that sort of thing, and we just sort of wanted to make it more clear our purpose.
Yeah, and also the other website was kind of split between me writing about finances and my journey to financial independence as well as travel therapy. So it was more like more scattered, I would say, and I think that was kind of taking away from some of the people that were just interested in travel therapy. Were not getting as much value as I wanted to provide. So this website I felt like was a much better way to just write content that was geared right towards travel therapists and helping people get started.
Yeah. I see a few new people have joined on. Hi, Jeff. If anybody's on and you guys want to say hello in the comments, we'd love to hear from you. That goes for if you're watching later during the replay as well, if you want to say hello. And please let us know if you can hear us if you're on live right now, because we are at an Airbnb.
Talking quietly.
So we want to talk a little bit quietly. So yeah, like Jared said, we got the idea. It was kind of Jared's idea, and we talked back and forth about it, and just came up with this new concept. And we were in Thailand at the time, so a lot of you guys might know this already, but for those that don't, last year was the first time that we had taken off any extended period of time from being travel therapists. So we had worked for 3 and a half or 3 years.
3 years almost exactly.
3 years as travel PTs, working back-to-back contracts, and then last year was the first time we decided to take 6+ months off, and we went out of the country. So we had, we were busy traveling, but we also had a lot of free time.
A lot of time to think.
Yeah, a lot of time to think and just come up with new concepts, and it was a really good time because originally with our blog, Jared had really been the primary author and driver in the blog, in the Fifth Wheel PT blog, but something just clicked when we were in Thailand and we started talking about this new concept, and I really got on board more, and now it's really been a lot more of both of us working on the site, so it's been an awesome endeavor. So last year we went on this trip to primarily Southeast Asia, but also a little bit of Europe, and we were also in Morocco, but it was when we were in Thailand, and then we still had, that was within the first 2 months of the trip, so we still had 3 more months while we were on the trip to really start producing content, writing articles, getting everything up and running on the site. So that was a really fun time. We were super motivated. We were in Chiang Mai, Thailand, which is
kind of like the digital nomad capital. So
yeah.
Everyone there's working on online businesses, so we got kind of motivated to work on something as well.
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time like at cafes and coffee shops, just really getting our site up and running. And like Jared said, it started out with mostly just blog articles. We wanted to write about a lot of the things that we see come up time and time again, just general basics of how to get started with travel therapy, how does it work, all this information that we all have questions about when we first get started as travel therapists.
Yep. And then soon after that, we started doing these live videos, and it turned out to be a much better way to reach a wider audience and also interact with people, which is kind of it was kind of the purpose of the website anyway. Mm-hmm. So we still write content on the website, usually an article every couple weeks, but these live videos they offer us a lot more flexibility to talk about different things and go more in depth into topics and answer questions as they come up, instead of just writing an article, putting it out there, and then just revisiting it when people ask questions.
Yeah.
The videos make a lot more sense. So now we've been doing these live videos for over 6 months. I think we're probably over 30 videos now that we've made. And
yeah, we're going to go a little bit more in detail about just some stats of like the content we've produced and all that, but I think it's neat that we had done some live videos. We dabbled in live videos in the past with Fifth Wheel PT, but we really started picking up on it on a consistent basis with Travel Therapy Mentor. And some of you who find us through the videos might not even know that we have a website. Some people think blogs are dead, and some people don't like to read that type of content. In this digital age, it's like our attention spans are short, and some people just like to hear things and see visually, and hear our story and see our faces and that sort of thing. But then some people really like to read, and they like to take their time to delve into the material. So it's nice that we have both. So if you don't know, we do have a website. That's the primary, where the business started, is traveltherapymentor.com. And now, of course, we have our social media outlets where we do a lot of these videos. I think some people just learn differently, and depending what type of learner you are, certain areas of our content might help you more. And I think sometimes we do videos on the same topics that we have written articles on, or vice versa. And sometimes it's easier to read it in an article after we've talked about it and have that commentary, or vice versa. Have the commentary in the video, but then read it in detail in the article.
Yep. So we want to talk about some stats with the website and with the Facebook Live videos and with our group and things like that. Some people might not be interested in this. This is something that I'm really interested in. Like, if I am following any blog or anything like that, I love to hear about like how big their audience is and how I like the transparency, so I don't know how many other people feel that way, but I felt like this would be a good time to talk about how many people we've communicated with, site visits, video views, all those things. And if you're interested, then hopefully it'll be good information for you.
And I think Jared's very much a numbers guy, and maybe some people also are. So it's sometimes just fun to write things out in numerical values. So talking about our website itself, about traveltherapymentor.com, we've gained a significant following over the past year. So between our website and our Facebook following, we also have an Instagram following, but just strictly between our Facebook and our website, we have over 1,700 followers. So thank you guys for following us. I think on Instagram we have like 4,500, and some people find us for different reasons on Instagram. Some people just love to see our pictures and that sort of thing, but our followers that read our articles and our content on Facebook is over 1,700.
Instagram's not so conducive for information, but it's great to share the pictures from our travels, which I think some people enjoy.
Which I love.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, as far as page views on our website itself, we have about 30,000 page views, and that's kind of more like the page views and clicks on our actual articles. We're at about 30,000 for the year.
Which is a lot better than the Fifth Wheel PT site's now been around for close to 4 years. And the first year for that one, this one definitely doing much better. And I think that is because we spent a significant amount more time doing these videos and communicating with people and things like that, which obviously bring more people to the website. And hopefully we're producing better content about travel therapy at this point than when we started that original website years ago. We've learned a ton just in this last year, really. Since starting these websites and doing more research, we've learned a lot more.
Yeah. So on our videos, which we actually didn't start a year ago, I only started the videos
Probably like 7 months ago. It was like January, February.
Yeah, I think it was when we were home after Asia. So no, we might have done the first one around December or January. So just in the past 7-8 months, we've done, like Jared said, about 30 videos or so. However many weeks it's been, because we've done one every single week.
It's around 30, 35.
30 or so videos, and on our videos total, we have roughly about 55,000 views on our videos. So that's super exciting that a lot of people are seeing our videos and joining our page each day. So we hope that they've brought value to you guys that have been watching. Okay, so we talked about page views, we talked about video views, followers.
So this is really crazy stat to me is through Fifth Wheel PT in the past like 3 or 4 years now, I've talked to a lot of people through that website, people that have reached out either through messages or through the business page for Fifth Wheel Physical Therapist, or that have sent me emails or Facebook messages directly. But this Travel Therapy Mentor site, we have talked to a ton of people. And I think that is because of the engagement we get in the videos, people watching the videos, and then they reach out to us directly after the videos. But in this past year, we have talked to somewhere around 1,000 people from between Facebook messages, emails, business page messages,
Instagram.
Instagram, all those different avenues. Around 1,000 people that we've communicated with and either had helped them some way in either travel therapy, or sometimes just people are interested in international or domestic travel.
Yeah, I've talked to a couple people just this week even that wanted to know more about our travels, like personally, and how they can do travel hacking and that sort of thing. And just weekly, daily, on a daily basis, we're getting emails and messages from people who have been inspired by our story and our experiences. And that's been the coolest part about all this, because we've been travel therapists for over 4 years, and of those 4 years, at least 3 of the years we've been pretty active in like the online communities and things like that. But it's really just been in this past year that we've been able to connect with so many other therapists, either current travel therapists, which we're going to talk about some other ways that we've done some networking as well, but through our website and through networking, just some current travel therapists, some current therapists that are thinking about getting into travel, some students that are thinking about getting into travel. So we've made so many amazing connections, and I'm really thankful for that. It's been
awesome.
Really fun,
and it's forced us to learn a lot more, which is really helpful for us in our own travels. And like Whitney said, I think this last year we've really like kicked things into overdrive, and I think that's all been sparked by these live videos and all the interaction that happens there, which is really cool. And it's really turned into a lot more communication and time than I was anticipating when we first started this. I thought like okay, I'll write some articles, a couple articles a week, and answer some emails and questions. It won't be a big deal, but and 1,000 people in a year turns into quite a bit of back and forth and time involved.
It's really blossomed into a lot more than what we used to do with just Fifth Wheel. With Fifth Wheel, we would just kind of share some information based on our experience solely. Maybe we worked with a couple of recruiters at that time, so we would share based on our experience, based on talking to other travelers, and then based on talking to our couple of recruiters. Well, in growing our business and wanting to provide more to the community, to the travel and the therapy community, we've wanted to learn more and make sure that we're giving the right information. So in this past year, I've reached out to so many more recruiters and companies, and I've started having more phone calls and more conversations and asking the hard questions that we hear day in and day out from aspiring or current travel therapists. These hard questions about what's the business like, and the business side of things, and the negotiating the pay, and what's the market like, and the insurance and the tax laws and all this stuff. So it's really caused us to do a lot more research on our end so that we can be more knowledgeable and then spread that information. And just try to break down some of the misconceptions and that sort of thing, and basically help empower other therapists, to be better travelers and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So
we definitely were. I think we were pretty well informed when we started this website, but over the last year, we've really taken that a lot deeper and learned a lot more. So it's been very good for us, and it's also allowed us to share a lot more quality, in-depth information, which is good for everyone, I think.
yeah, and what I've really learned from it is it's not always black and white. Like, a lot of the times,
It's never black and white. Nothing is black and white.
a lot of times travel therapists kind of just, or therapists in general, you want to make sure that you're not getting lowballed. You want to make sure you're not getting screwed over. You want to make sure everything is good to go. But there's not one answer for everybody, is what we've learned. And also, a lot of the companies are very different. So the way that one company pays you is not going to be the same way that another company pays you. The way that one contract is going to be set up with one hospital system or facility is not the same way that it's going to be set up with a different facility. So I feel like prior to this year, there was a lot of growing distrust of the travel industry. People were thinking that everybody was just trying to screw them over, the recruiters were trying to screw them over, and just through gaining more knowledge and learning more and asking more questions, we've been able to help, calm people down. It's like they're not all trying to screw you over.
There's plenty of that out there, but yeah, there's a lot of good people, and there's a lot of situations that are gray areas that it's hard to just give blanket advice, which is why everything kind of needs to be tailored to the situation.
Yeah.
Hey, John, thanks for joining. Weren't you going to Fredericksburg for a clinical? How did that go?
John, we need to hear about that. And hi, Ellen, thanks for joining, and Lynn, thank you guys. If anybody's on and you're watching, please reach out and say hey in the comments. So that's a little bit about kind of the page and the website and kind of what we've been doing over the past year with the business. Another thing we haven't talked about that we started to pursue in the past 6 months or so is going to conferences and doing school talks, which is something we had thought about doing in the past. Well, we had done a little bit. We've done a virtual school talk in the past, but we're getting into doing that more. Hey, Vanessa, thanks for joining us. But this year we really had a lot more networking opportunities, and it's been so much fun. In January we went to CSM, which for the physical therapists out there is the combined sections meeting for PTs. We also went to a state student conclave, the North Carolina Student Conclave, and spoke to the physical therapy and PTA students there. In a couple weeks, we'll be going to my alma mater to do a talk at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia. And then in a month, or a little over a month, 2 months actually.
2 months.
2 months actually, on November the 1st, we're going to be doing our first big presentation at the National Student Conclave, which is the National Physical Therapy Student Meeting, which is in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah, and that's going to be all about travel therapy and finances, and I'm pretty terrified for that one. So
I think it's going to be fine. I think we've gotten a lot of experience with speaking and putting our content out there in the virtual form. Sure, it'll be a little bit different being in front of a huge group of students, but it'll be fine. So we're super excited about that. Maybe one of us more than the other. Some other ways that we've been able to network are more at social type events. So in March, we had the opportunity to attend the Club Core Med trip, which is you want to tell them a little bit about what
it's
Club
a
Core Med
trip
is?
for travelers that work through Core Medical Group, a travel company, and you earn points through taking contracts or sending referrals to the company. And basically, if you get enough points, they take all their travelers to on a trip, and it's to the Caribbean. So last year we went, and it was to the Dominican Republic, and we met a lot of other travelers there, which was a lot of fun. That was our first real opportunity to meet a bunch of other travel therapists, and it was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. It wasn't last year, it was earlier this year. It was in March,
Yeah, it was in March.
Of 2019. So that was a really great opportunity. We're hoping to be able to attend the one coming up this spring. That was a really fun opportunity to meet so many of the faces that we talk to online all the time. And then also we met one of our recruiters there that we hadn't met in person before. So that was awesome. And then we're getting ready to go to another conference, which is called TravCon, the Travelers Conference. So we wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that and what that is in case any of you guys are interested. This is not affiliated with just one travel company. So the Core Med trip is if you work with Core Medical in some regard, that's how you qualify for that one. To go to the Travelers Conference, anybody can sign up. It's actually a relatively reasonable fee. I think it was only like $130 or something.
Yeah, it goes up as time goes on, but if you sign up in the beginning, which we knew we were going to go this year, we wanted to go the last 2 years, but we had stuff going on. We were working back-to-back contracts, and then last year we were out of the country, so we knew we wanted to go this year. We signed up as soon as we could. And that's actually the reason for this road trip. So we're on our way there right now. Kentucky was the first stop, and I think we've got 4 or 5 more stops before we get to Vegas. But so the Travelers Conference is basically a conference all about travel healthcare in general. So it's not just travel therapists, but travel nurses and travel techs and all kinds of things. And actually travel therapy is a small component of it compared to travel nursing, which is to be expected because travel nursing is massive. Nursing in general is massive compared to the therapy profession. So there's a lot of travel nurses there, and we're excited to go there. It's supposed to be a really fun time. A lot of events going on, parties, and a lot of information about travel healthcare, which is definitely something that we're interested in. So hopefully we'll learn some good information and be able to network with some people, and maybe we'll see some of you guys there.
Yeah, so if that's something you guys are interested in, it's a good conference to go to whether you're a current traveler, whether you're new, whether you're experienced, or whether you're even aspiring and you're thinking about getting into travel therapy. There's a lot of educational sessions there, from everything just about lifestyle as a traveler, or taxes, or job searching, or all kinds of things. But I think the huge thing is the networking. We've heard that it's so much fun, and we're so excited to go to all the events and the parties and everything, just to meet a lot of our fellow travelers that we haven't met before. So we'll let you guys know how that goes. And
yeah, we'll probably be talking about that next week. I think we're going to be in Vegas.
I think we are going to be in Vegas on our video next week. So if anybody's watching, if you guys are going to be at TravCon, we'd love for you to comment and let us know if you'll be there. We'd love to see you there.
There's a chance that next week won't be on Sunday though, because we're going to be we're just going to be getting into Vegas on that day, so we might do it a different day next week. But maybe we'll do it like right when TravCon ends, and we'll talk about our experience and something like that. Yeah, so to be determined on the timeline there for next week's video. So that's a little bit about kind of what we've been up to this past year. Another big thing to mention this past year is all of our international travels, which a lot of people seem to be really interested in. We get a lot of questions about the places we've gone internationally, and in this past year is really, it was only 2 years ago the first time I ever left the country. So it's not like this is something I've been doing a long time. This was brand new to me. And in this past year, we have visited almost 30 countries, and we spent over 9.5 months of this past year out of the country, which is really, really crazy.
Yeah.
We've spent more time out of the country than we have in the country this past year. So it's been a really cool experience, something that I had no idea what to expect. And visiting all those places has really expanded my mindset about things, I guess, and I've learned a lot about different cultures, and that's been wonderful. And I think that is a really valuable part of being a travel therapist. And I think that's almost essential to add into this story and everything that we talk about with travel therapy, because there's no other jobs, or very few other jobs, that give you the opportunity to do those kind of things, travel long periods of time out of the country, and almost live like a local in a lot of places. If you can stay there for an entire month and things like that, it's really, really a different experience.
Yeah, our lifestyle has significantly changed over the past few years. A lot of travel therapists, or a lot of therapists, think about getting into travel therapy thinking they're going to experience a lot of the country, of the 50 states. And that's 100% true. We know so many people that have traveled all across the country, to Alaska, to Hawaii, to everywhere, from East Coast to West Coast and everything in between. We did our careers, our travel therapy careers thus far, a little bit different. In the first 3 years of traveling, we only stayed on the East Coast, which is where we're from. We're from Virginia, and we worked in Virginia, North Carolina, and Massachusetts. And then year 3, we just got crazy and decided to go out of the country for a while. So especially in the past year, around the same time that Travel Therapy Mentor started, our whole lifestyle has changed. So
Yes.
we went to, like I mentioned earlier, we went on a 5-month trip, which was a little bit of Europe, mostly like the UK and Germany, and then Morocco, and then Southeast Asia for 5 months. And then we came home for a little while around Christmas. And then we ended up spending a little more time at home than we planned because our job search didn't quite line up. So that was a blessing in disguise because we got to spend like 6 or 8 weeks, I think, at home with our families, which was really cool. Then we took a contract and we worked a little bit shorter contract. I think Jared worked 10 weeks and I worked 12 weeks.
Yep.
And we worked in the state of Virginia, which is our home state, but not at home. We worked about 3 hours away, a travel contract. And then we immediately went out of the country again. So we were out of the country for 5 months, home for 2 months, a travel contract for 3 months, and then out of the country for 4 months.
And then as soon as we got back this time, we were on this road trip. So it's been a really busy year.
It's been crazy, and it's been so much fun. So if you guys have been keeping up, or maybe you haven't been keeping up and you're like, where in the world are they? We were home for 5 days after getting back from Europe. We got back from Rome Tuesday night, and we were home Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we left today, which is Sunday. And we drove to our first stop, which is Louisville, Kentucky, where we are today. We're actually staying across the river. We didn't realize it was so close to Indiana. We're staying in Indiana, right across the river. So just a quick overview of what our trip is going to entail. We'd love to hear if any of you guys have suggestions or if any of you guys are even along our route. We'd love to hear from
We're
you.
already going to be meeting up with probably about a dozen either travel therapists or travel therapy prospective travel therapist students. So we're meeting up with a lot of people. So if you guys are along the route, maybe you can join in and meet up with us.
It's so crazy to think that we're making these connections with people all over the country. I mean, even just 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we maybe wouldn't have known people all across the country to meet up with, but now we do. So it's awesome. So
it's a cool community. Travel therapy community is really cool.
So just a quick overview. We're taking about like a little over a week to get from Virginia to Vegas. And then a little over a week to get from Vegas back to Virginia. And then, of course, a few days in Vegas for the Travelers Conference. So we're going to Louisville, Kentucky, which is where we are now.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, St. Louis.
Kansas City, Kansas. Then we're
Kansas City,
going to
Missouri, depending on.
Colorado Springs, Moab, and Zion. And then we'll be in Vegas. And on the way back, we're going to where?
Grand Canyon. And this is all sort of like rough outline. We're going to plan to go to Grand Canyon. We're going to plan to go to Flagstaff. I think after Flagstaff is Amarillo, Texas.
They're somewhere in New Mexico.
Oh, Santa Fe,
Yes.
New Mexico, and then Amarillo, Texas, and then Oklahoma City, Little Rock, and then we're either going to stop in Tennessee or Alabama, which we're not sure. We've been to both Tennessee and Alabama in the past, so there's a little bit of flexibility for that last stop between Little Rock and home. And then when we get back, we have a wedding to go to, and not at home, but in Virginia Beach. And then after that, it's to be determined. We're probably going to try to work another travel therapy contract this year, but we haven't decided when or where. So probably like October, November. But if you're keeping up with the timeline, we are going to be speaking at NSC in November, so that there is a kink in things, because that's all the way back out west in Albuquerque.
Yep. So we gotta, if we do take a travel contract, we gotta ask for that time off. So we're still on the fence about that. We might just take a little bit of time to rest and recuperate after all these trips.
Go through my 13,000 and growing photos that I have on my phone.
But we will definitely be taking another contract before too long. We just don't know where it'll be. It'll probably be either Virginia, North Carolina, or potentially Arizona if it's in the winter, because we're still licensed there. We've never worked in Arizona, but we would really like to if we can find contracts out there.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about our crazy life? I know a few of you are still watching. Are you like dizzy trying to keep up with all the places we've been? Because I think that's how our families feel. They're like, I think someone said to me, I think it was someone at my clinic when we worked our last contract. They said, "Wow, you really don't let the grass grow under your feet, do you?"
Yeah, and I guess if we're talking about future plans, we also are planning, we haven't planned anything yet, but in the next few years we're going to do a long trip probably to Central and South America, a longer trip to Australia, New Zealand. We'll probably go back to Southeast Asia. We only went to 4 or 5 countries in Southeast Asia. We'd like to visit more of Southeast Asia as well as mainland Asia. We're going to take definitely another trip to Europe. We really, really enjoyed this past trip, and there's a lot of places in Eastern Europe that we'd like to see. So another trip to Europe, and is that it?
Did you say Australia?
I said Australia. I think we've got really like 4 more big trips that we want to take in the next 3 or 4 years.
There's Canada.
Before settling down at some point.
Yeah, there's, more of the U.S. because we still haven't, after this trip, we will have seen a lot of the South, but we won't have seen, like, we really want to go to Montana and the Dakotas and Washington, Oregon, and California. So there's just so much more. It's like once you start traveling, Hawaii, Alaska, so there's just so much more to see out there in the world once you start traveling. Ryan says, "Is that it?" Yeah, just a dozen more countries or
a lot more than a dozen.
2 dozen. So we'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think about our crazy life? And do you think it's too much? Do you think we should slow down? Do you think we should buy a house and have babies? Do you envy what we're doing?
Seems like most people think we're crazy, and sometimes I think so as well.
Yeah, so I don't know. Life's a little bit crazy. I'm collecting, like I said, way too many photos. It's so hard for me. Each time we see somewhere amazing and beautiful and new, I just want to take so many photos, but I'm like, literally, I've got too many that I can't even go through. And if we go to any more countries, it's just going to be out of control.
So we definitely have to hang out with Jeff and Megan, and also Ryan.
I know, Ryan has dips, but Ryan, you did see Jared the other day.
And then Jeff and Ryan can also hang out, so that's good.
And Jeff and Megan are going to be up in Northern Virginia, which is like basically another state. So we kind of have to drive like 4 hours, but we'll probably make it work. Thank you, Jonas. That's great future couple goals. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and so basically the way we plan to set up our future years is to work 1 or 2 contracts per year, and then probably spend somewhere between 4 and 5 months traveling outside the country on these long trips. Although we have learned from these last couple trips that we need to slow down a little bit, not move so often, because it gets really exhausting. Moving every 4 days or 3 or 4 days for a 4-month period is difficult. You get worn down, and it starts to lose some of the appeal after a while. So we're going to, on our future trips, we'll probably go a lot slower, so maybe a week in each place or something like that.
Yeah, woe is us, right? Like, traveling's so exhausting, but it's true. Like,
it's true.
It all seems like it's the best thing in the world, but
it is for the first month. We get so excited for the trips, and we have all the energy in the world for the first few weeks or first month, and then things start to it loses some of the luster, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like, oh wow, I can't see another just beautiful church. Like, oh, another 500-year-old amazing church. Like, so anyway, it just gets tiring, and I think like for a little while, like you take for granted Europe, and then you come back and you're like, wow, America is so great, and like I get back home and I hear like the accents and like the things I'm familiar with, and I'm just like, oh, this is nice. Like, I'd like to be home for a while, but then you're home for a while, and then you're like, oh, I want to go travel again. So
the grass is always greener. No matter what you're doing, the grass is always greener. So
yeah, but we've had an amazing. This past year has just been amazing, and we're really looking forward to what this next year holds. Like Jared said, we're planning on continuing probably like 1 to 2 contracts a year. Take some time to travel for fun. Take some time to spend time with family. While continuing to work on our websites.
Yeah, and really, we owe a lot to you guys, because being able to work while we're traveling and on the road has changed things for us.
For sure.
We were planning on doing 1 or 2 travel contracts, probably 2 travel contracts a year from this point on, but being able to make some money online has really made a big difference for us. So
yeah.
It gives us a lot more flexibility, so it's awesome.
Yeah, so thank you guys. We appreciate you guys following our journey, and all you guys that have reached out for help. And we, like I said, we're planning on continuing to work on the websites in the foreseeable future. We want to continue to contribute to this community. The mission of our site is to be able to mentor others and help them along their own journeys. So whether that's you're the type of person who wants to take a few travel contracts, earn some extra money to pay off your student loans, or whether you're the type of person who's going to be a lifetime traveler like we are and you want to learn all the ins and outs of the travel hacking lifestyle, and or whether you're, gosh, how many people have we mentored that wanted to get an RV and do the RV
So many
thing
now.
that we did originally. That's a whole nother chapter of our life,
Yeah.
living in the RV. So there's just so many people that we've been able to help and mentor, and some of them are our
And
friends
so many
now.
that we've learned
and-
from along the way as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that have come before us that gave us a lot of these crazy ideas and helped us along the way too. So we are so excited for the future, and we just love this community. And it's really, I mean, what started out as an idea when we were in grad school of, we'll just do this for a little while to make a little extra money, like
Pay off loans,
pay
maybe
off
get a
loans,
rental property or two.
see a few states. It's just evolved into so much more. It's really evolved into a community and a lifestyle, and we are just loving it, and we don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you guys in the community here, if you have any questions, any ideas for future videos, anything like that, let us know. We are always looking for ideas or things to talk about, whatever brings value to you guys. It might not be the best information, but we'll share the best information that we have on whatever topic it is.
Yeah. So let us know if you have questions. If you watched this video and you got any value out of this video this evening or from our page in general, we'd love if you'd give us a thumbs up on the video, or just leave us a comment and say hello. I see Matt signed on. Hey, Matt. So thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. And if you want to follow along with our journey, the current journey that we're on, we are on a road trip right now that's about 20 days long, from Virginia to Vegas and back. So we will be posting pretty frequently. I usually post on like our Instagram story. Today, how many states did we check off? We went through
Like 4.
West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, well, and then home. So we've been to 5 states today. So we're kind of posting on the Instagram and the Facebook page. So if you don't follow us, it's just at Travel Therapy Mentor on Instagram, and then Travel Therapy Mentor on Facebook as well.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for watching.
Yep. So next week we'll probably talk about TravCon, our experience with it and everything, like we mentioned. But yeah, any future video ideas that you guys have, definitely send them our way.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.